my journey from stage to startup, punchlines and profit. So we're going to focus on that. But first of all, why don't you tell us how you started as a comic before you started Plauzzable, and how did your early experiences on stage and improv shape your approach to building a tech startup like Plauzzable?
Yeah, sure. I'm happy to tell you about that. So I was born in a small, no, I'm just kidding. I have for the next 30 hours. No, I actually took my first comedy writing class in 2001. And I'm originally from Illinois, but I was living in Las Vegas at the time. I went to college there. And I decided I was working for a Fortune 500 company, and I did a lot of public speaking. And I thought, I'm going to do like a Johnny Carson kind of monologue at one of my events, you know? And so I took this comedy writing class through continuing ed at UNLV. And then my coworkers were like, hey, did you know the Second City opened a training center here?
Wow.
And I was like, what? I didn't know that. And I'm from Chicago, so I was very familiar with the Second City. And so I then ended up enrolling in my first improv class. I fell in love with it. I'm like, this is amazing. And then, of course, we created an improv group, and we performed at coffee shops and, you know, basketball halftime shows, which I don't recommend for improv, by the way. And like, I did shows in a parking lot in the rain with one microphone and people yelling, we can't hear you. Like, it was, you know, we did all the things that you do as a, you know, up and coming or a newbie in comedy and improv and all the things, right? You get matching t-shirts because you think that's what's going to do the trick. So we did all of that. I took all of the classes. I think I took every class that the training center offered. And then I took them all a second and some even a third time. And then I went and I did an intensive in New York at UCB during the summer.
Oh.
And I came back and I was like, if I ever, you know, and people are like, why don't you move to New York? And I'm like, well, I have this great job that I love and I have a house. And well, fast forward 5 years later, I ended up losing my job. I was laid off. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, one of my friends that I met in New York at UCB called and he's like, hey, I'm moving to New York this summer. Do you want to share a sublet? And I was like, oh, I have to think about it. And he's like, you have 1 hour. And I was like, what? Okay. So I went out, I walked around the block. I came back in. I said, sure, I'm in. And a few weeks later, I packed up 2 suitcases and moved to New York. And yeah, so in New York, and during that time, UCB had opened up like they had opened up in LA, but they didn't have their stage yet. They were only doing training program. And so I would drive to LA from Las Vegas every weekend for classes. And so then this happened. I moved to New York, and then my company, as a goodbye gift, had bought me like a 5-week intensive at IO Chicago. So I flew back to Chicago and spent the summer there. Like, I was all in. I was like all in improv and comedy and everything. So during my time in New York, I was there for about 9 years. And for 7.5, I ran an open mic. I wrote my one-woman show, which I premiered in New York. I took to Delaware Fringe Wilmington. I took it to Cap Fringe in DC, back to New York. So I did like this whole year of writing and then a whole year of like performing. And I produced shows in New York for like my last year there. I think I produced 42 shows.
Wow.
Yeah. So I was like fully immersed. I got commercial work. I did theater work. You know, I was just like, this is what I want to do with life. Like, I was so happy. It was so hard. And then I moved to LA. Well, let me rephrase that. I moved to Long Beach, which is not LA, but some people are like, Leah, did you move to LA for your comedy? And I'm like, well, I moved there for a man, and that turned out to be a joke. Yes. So that kind of blew up in my face. But I decided I'm going to stay. I'm going to make the best of it. But I found myself spending so much time on the highway just to get 5 minutes of stage time. I'm like, this is bananas. Like, how do I bridge that gap? So I had moved to the West Coast in end of 2014, beginning of 2015. And I was like, I want to keep running my mic from New York. Maybe I'll do it Skype. And then I was like, wait, Skype? And then I was like, well, I use Zoom for work, so maybe that. And I'm like, well, I don't know, like how many people have it. And fast forward to August of 2019, which is BC, before COVID, I started doing an online open mic. I had my WordPress site for a different business. I was running a coaching business at the time. And so I just added a page like online open mic so people could sign up and register and pay. And then I tied it to Zoom and had it all, kind of cobbled together. And that's how I met Barry, right? So I met Barry
Oh,
Weisenberg. And so all of a sudden, like, well, actually, that's not, I met him right before that. We had done a show together. And so I invited him and another girl, Kathleen. Barry and I, this other comedian, Kathleen, we would meet at her place and write every weekend. And so then I was like, what if we get more people and do it online? So that's kind of where I was re-inspired.
yeah.
Then COVID happened. Everybody did stuff online. So as you know, going and taking things online is great. It doesn't replace in person, but it definitely fills this gap and creates more
Yes.
opportunity.
Yes.
But with existing technologies, it created all these new problems and cobbling it together, and not everybody's tech savvy. And so
That's
I was
true.
like, how can I make it one stop for everybody, like a one-stop shop, and also solve some of these other problems where people don't get paid, or maybe they get paid, with a free drink tickets and stuff. And I'm like, so how can what if we were to build our own online place, what would it look like? What would it have? And I spent a year or more researching that. I went back to school at University of California, actually during COVID,
Wow.
got my master's in innovation and entrepreneurship. So I could figure out how I could take this and make it scalable. So I could help a ton of people globally rather than just a few of my friends. Like, how can I make it better for everyone? And that's where Plauzzable came from. And yeah, so now we actually went live with our site in December of 2022. So we've been just over 2 years, and we have new people signing up daily, which is really cool. Yeah.
That's so good. I love Plauzzable, and I have a monthly show there, and it's such a great place. Even if you have, 4 people or 5 people in the audience, it's so intimate, and you get to talk to your fans right there because they're part of the audience. It's like Zumba and way better. Yeah, no.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And you guys, if you are a comic and you're listening right now, definitely sign up on plauzzable.com as a comic. And if you want to have your own show, it's the best place to have a show. And you do it from the comfort of your own home. It's like I was so tired of driving to places.
Yeah.
This provides an opportunity to, even try out new material and see how it lands. Because again, the audience, it's so intimate, and you get to know them, and they come back. People keep coming back to the show. So it's a great way to build your fan base for sure.
Thank you. Thanks. And if people don't, if you're like what? It's not Zoom. What is it? It's, if you think of Etsy, right? Where you log into Etsy to buy something kind of cool and homemade for a friend, and you can go through and see all the different small businesses on Etsy, and then they provide those products and services. Well, think of it, we're the Etsy for comedy. So on one side, you have all the comedians, and you can go through the comedian talent directory and see their profiles. You can go through all the show listings, and you can pick and choose what kind of comedy you want to consume. And there's a lot of free events on Plauzzable. There's open mics, there's classes and workshops. Some people do podcasting on there. And you can be a live audience where we see and hear each other, because in comedy, it's so important to have someone else in the room so you know if your joke is landing, and also for timing and things like that.
Yes, 100%. And yay for Leanne. Thank you, Chris. Absolutely. Yay for Leanne for providing this amazing space. And, one of the features that I love about Plauzzable is the little emojis that have sounds.
Yes.
And they're so fun. And it's like the laughter one. And then the ooh, it's a brain,
Yes, right.
So fun.
We're like, the whole point is so that people engage in some way. And we love to have people with their video on and their audio on, because the immediate response is so key with comedy. And we
Yes.
know that that's not always possible in some cases, or maybe some people don't laugh out loud. So we incorporated those sound emojis so that people can do it. Like there's the rim shot, which it looks like a punch for like good punchline. It's not Will Smith. It's it's like yeah, we tried to have some fun with it. And it's free to sign up. So anybody can go on there and create their free account, and comedians can create a free profile. So if you think of like your LinkedIn, you have a profile that is public facing that shows people like what you do in your bio.
Absolutely. And also you guys promote the profiles on social media. So not only do you provide an online comedy club for us, but you also promote us. She's amazing at promoting, you guys. You need to sign up if you're a comic. You will love Plauzzable. You're going to fall in love with it. And, you know, like I said, she's very, very, and I'm talking like you're not here, like Leanne.
That's okay. My husband does that too.
Yeah, you're very involved in it, and it's your full-time job. So you make videos, like you made a couple of videos for my show, and I thought they were so funny, and you know, you can use them and share it in your stories. And one thing that just triggered something in me, which is a good trigger. You said engagement, and you know what? Now I've been studying YouTube a lot, and you know, not only taking classes but also educating myself. And not only on YouTube, but in social media in general, what we want to look at is not the amount of followers or subscribers that you have, but is the engagement. And so you want to build a community. And I feel like Plauzzable allows you to build a community in a different platform, you know, so you can have your YouTube and you can cross, you know, promote each one. And like the people on Plauzzable are going to watch you on YouTube, and the people that, you know, you're promote on Facebook are going to watch you on Plauzzable. So it's all about engagement and building that community. And once you build that community, they're going to tell their friends, and you're going to have more and more people join that community. That's what it's all about in 2025. It's about engagement and community. So you're right on writing that crest.
Thank you.
Engagement.
Yeah. Yes. That's actually, I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's one of the things that I really wanted to do for comedians is kind of level the playing field. And instead of adding barriers and hurdles and hoops for us to jump through and over and around and all of that kind of stuff, I wanted to make it simple and straightforward. So on Plauzzable, people can follow you, but you don't have to have a minimum number of followers before you can start earning money. You can sell one ticket to your event and boom, you're earning money. Sorry, they're coming to take me away. I don't know if you hear the siren. I am like, oh my gosh, they're here, Grace. They're here.
Girl, they're here. You know, here it's the same. I live by the police department and the fire department. It's constant. But it's not as bad. We didn't hear it that badly, but because you can hear it. So yeah, I know I was asking the same question to Kyle. I was like, can you hear that? Like, how can you like, hear it?
What is happening? Are they pulling up right now? So I think they passed, thank goodness.
Yes.
So yeah, we wanted to make it so you don't have to, like, a lot of times, to your point, people get caught up in vanity metrics, like the number of followers or subscribers, but truly the numbers that matter, how many people are showing up, how many people are watching and actually engaging with you. And with typical social, like most familiar social media that we have, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, it's passive, right? Because it's not in real time. We can post something and then days later it will come up in someone's feed, you know, and then they'll acknowledge us. But with Plauzzable, because comedy is so like right now and in the moment, how could we make it so that comedians can really have that real life interaction without being in the room? And that's what we created. So you only need a couple people in the room to find out if your joke is working. Of course, we all want more people in the room, like than one or two. And so we have the opportunity to do that. And you don't have to like click through to another screen to see them. You don't have to stop your cadence and flow to read a chat. You know, you can see by the reaction by your ears, like normal things, what's happening in your show. So we wanted to like remove the barriers. Like you don't have to have X number of subscribers or followers to do something on Plauzzable. You don't need all of these things in order to qualify to get paid. You just need to show up, put on a good show, and sell a minimum of one ticket, and you're making most of the revenue from your ticket sales.
100%. And you have free shows and paid shows also.
Yes. Yep.
So
a comedian can choose to do things for free if they want to. There's a lot of free open mics and things like that people offer on Plauzzable. And then there's classes. We just had a wonderful workshop by Jason Stewart, and he sold spots for his class, and it was terrific. Like people went home with some really great takeaways, and it was cool because Jason's in California, but a lot of people who aren't on the West Coast aren't able to, spend that kind of money and fly and stay in a hotel to have the opportunity to work with someone like Jason. Same with Bill Cott. He also did a wonderful improv workshop on Plauzzable. And, again, people from all over who don't normally have access or aren't in that geographic area can now work with, these wonderful people who've had so much experience and have so much to share.
Absolutely. And I love that you're doing that, offering that to people. And it's not expensive either. Like you're not, the tickets are not like super expensive. I know you make sure that, people can afford it, which is great, right?
Yeah.
So if anybody has any classes, like comedy classes to offer or anything, any comedy knowledge that you have that you think you can make it into like a workshop or a class, go ahead and talk to Leanne, and she can hook you up. And you're great also with technical support.
Well, the thing is they don't even have to talk to me. If you're like, I don't want to talk to her, you don't have to. You can just not that I don't want to talk to people. I love talking to people, but you don't even have to. Like you can log into Plauzzable, create your account. We have tutorials, each are like less than 2 minutes that show you how each feature works. It's pretty intuitive. We've really worked on making it pretty frictionless at this point. So, go on, play around, see what it's all about. And you can create your show. You don't have to ask. That's the other thing. You don't have to ask permission. You don't have to audition. I'm not gatekeeping the venue. Like at a lot of venues, you have to be like, are you open to this? Or just do it,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And like Grace, you shared, like we promote. If you promote, we'll promote, if you're putting it out there that you're doing this event, we want to also tell people. So we include it, and we send out one email a week, which is on Mondays, that says, hey, this is what's happening this week on Plauzzable. And we list everybody's event in there. And then throughout the week, we'll put out on social media and tag you, or if you tag us, we'll reshare and tell people, which a lot of venues don't do that.
Don't. And I love that you also engage. Like if I post something about my show, you're like engaging in it, commenting. And so you're very hands-on, which really makes things so much better.
Yes.
I love my shows on Plauzzable. I really love them. I look forward to them. So here's King Mike saying Plauzzable. Okay, yes, King Mike, definitely create your comedian profile. It takes literally like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And the ticketing service is all built in. Like someone had asked the other day, like, hey, does someone have a ticketing service that they connect when they do online shows? I'm like, we do. Like you don't even have to cobble it together with anybody. We've already done all the cobbling, like behind the scenes. So everything's in one spot. Like some people, before would use Eventbrite and Zoom or Google Meets or Skype. I don't know. Yeah. And like, you don't have to do any of that. Like, what are you doing? Like, welcome to 2025. You don't have to do that anymore,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And people out there, like if you've already created your community to, Grace, I love that you were talking about the camaraderie and the people and stuff. Bring you and your community. You can still be the king or queen of your community and just use our tech. Like we are not competing with you. We are here supporting you. Like Plauzzable wants to help you. We want all comedians to be successful. We want, to be laughing with you.
you're on our side, and that's what you guys need to know. They're on our side. Plauzzable is on your side. Leanne is on your side. So it's only going to help you grow, you know?
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question, because, you know, you're an entrepreneur, and so you do business. You have I've worked with you many times. So I know you have a very good business mind, and you're very organized, right? And so, how do you balance being creative and also being a business person? Because it's two different sides of the brain, right?
Alcohol. No.
Yeah. Well, that's the answer. Okay. Moving on to the next question.
How do I balance that? I think, I think that's it seems so easy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it's not all of the time. I think sometimes it ebbs and flows. Sometimes they're more balanced than others.
Yeah.
And I think that's just kind of how life goes. But to be able to roll with that and accept, like, right now is really busy, and sometimes I have to put in a lot of extra hours to get things done, or um, attend, more things, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
One of the things that really does help me, though, is I tend to be an early riser. Um,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I get up at like 5:15 every day.
What?
I know,
Sometimes I
for
go
a
to bed
comedian,
at
like, what?
5:15. What?
Yeah. Yeah, it's because I stopped doing things in person, you guys. This is how
Yes.
life-changing it is. So,
Yes.
if I'm not, like, sitting at a bar all night waiting for someone to draw my name out of a lottery, or waiting for that set timer. But not that I don't like that stuff, but I do wake up early enough that I can take care of me first. Like, everybody's like, "Put on your own oxygen mask before you put on someone else's." And I really
Yes.
can't be of service to anybody else unless I'm taking care of myself first. So once I get up, I roll out of bed, I kid you not. If I'm not out the door in 10 minutes, I will talk myself out of it, and I go to the gym. And I get my butt to a 6 a.m. gym class every morning. And then I
What?
come home. Yeah. And then I come
Oh my
home,
God.
and I try not to look at any messages or anything on my phone until
Yeah.
I get that done.
Wow,
Because
that's very smart, because I'm the opposite. I wake up, I'm like, you know,
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Oh, what's
if
happening?
I tested myself on this, and then the days where I pick up my phone and I read all the things first, I immediately go, I just need some coffee and sit down at my computer and get to work,
Yes. Yes.
right?
You're
A
right.
Yeah, but because when I do that, I find myself irritable, and, like, less patient, and I can't stand myself, I'll be honest. Like, I'm like, "Oh, what has happened?"
Right.
So, if I go, "You know what? It's an hour at the gym. It's 6 a.m. Nobody else is awake right now. Let's be
Right.
real. Get her done. Like, get to it." I come home, I have breakfast with my husband, and it's like my favorite time of day. Like, he and I both agree, like, we have the best time of day together then. We're like, okay, we're it's a new day. We have so much to be grateful for, and then we can shower and get ready, and I commute from the bathroom into the office here for for my day, and I feel a lot better. And when I show up already having done those things for myself, I can start showing
Mhm.
up better for other people. It's the days that I
True.
haven't that I need to step away.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah. I think your method is great, and I'm going to consider it.
Yeah, even as an experiment, right? Like,
Yeah.
sometimes I find, I hear what someone's doing, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm gonna commit," and I don't. But if I go, "I'm gonna run an experiment," it seems safe because it may work and it may not, but it doesn't matter. All I'm doing is gathering data. And
Yes.
so
Yes.
I test it out, and I'm like, "Okay, I like that," or I don't like that. But yeah, like, try it 1 or 2 days, and then
I will, and I'll let you know how it goes for sure. I'll
yeah,
see
it's like a
if it
joke,
works.
right? It's
Yeah.
like it's like, "Is this something?" As Jerry
Yes.
Seinfeld would say, "Is this
I
something?"
I love that. So we have a couple of minutes, but before we leave, I would love for you to let us know, how do you see the role of digital platforms evolving in the future of live comedy, and what opportunities does this create for performers?
I honestly think that online comedy is here to stay. I do
Yes.
not think it's going anywhere. I think
Yeah.
we're going to see more of it as the more, like, already people are still doing online comedy even after the pandemic. It's brought new people in who might not otherwise have tried it. I think there's a whole market for it, to be honest with you, and it's
Yes.
just continuing to grow. Like, one of the things, I will say this, because people, when they're like, a startup for comedy, what? Isn't that kind of niche? And I'm like, are you kidding me? Do you realize that comedy is the second most popular genre that is live streamed, only
Oh,
second to breaking news?
really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, very
Comedy is
interesting.
a big deal. And when people put their like nose up at online comedy, I'm like, oh, that's funny. People used to be like, MySpace, why would I get on MySpace? And then pretty soon everybody's on MySpace.
That's
Remember when
true.
you weren't on Facebook? And now where everybody is, they're on Facebook. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what I love about Plauzzable is that you can stream to YouTube.
yeah,
And
you
so
can totally.
yeah, and you can have the show happening at the same time that you are earning hours on your YouTube channel and
Yes.
entertaining your YouTube subscribers. So yeah, it's a great platform. You guys definitely sign up if you're a comedian, plauzzable.com. Let me put the banner up. So let me see. I have to find the banner. Plauzzable, where are you? Let's see, Carlos, can you I
There
don't
it
know,
is.
Carlos.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you so much, Carlos. This is the first time we're doing this together, so we're going to get better and better. We organized everything the best way we could, and but it's going smooth so far. I'm
Yeah.
enjoying this. And here, before we leave, Leanne sounds like a motivational speaker too. Yes, and you are, aren't you?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, whatever you say, Grace. Yeah, let's go with that.
Yes, I am,
I
as we
love
say in
that.
improv. Yes, and I'm speaking every day on Plauzzable.
I love it. So
Yeah.
okay, so we're gonna have to keep moving because we have the comics on deck for the next batch of comics. Like it's
Yay!
production here, the next batch, right? So thank you so much for being here, Leanne, and for sharing your knowledge and wisdom. And we appreciate what you do. We love what you do, and we love you.
Well, we love you. And check out, if you haven't already, check out Grace's show monthly, Love Gone Funny.
Thank
Always
you.
has a great lineup of comedians, always, every time.
Thank you.
So, all right. Thank you, Grace.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate it.
much.